Bayley came out for a promo. She brought a chair with her to the ring, maybe the same chair that she used on Sasha Banks the week before to beat down her best friend. And she opened the chair up in the ring and she sat down on the chair to cut her promo in the center of the ring, Eddie Guerrero style. The week after he turned on Rey Mysterio. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Sasha Banks, everybody knows Sasha Banks is a gigantic Eddie Guerrero fan. If Eddie were still around, if I were Vicky, I would be worried. She's a gigantic Eddie Guerrero fan. So if this was a subtle dig at Sasha Banks, ooh, I like that. I like that. And I think it was. I think it probably was intentional. But Bayley said that she knew Sasha was at home watching, and she said that Sasha thought that she was naive. She said that Sasha was waiting for the right time to strike and to attack her, which is probably true. She said Sasha kept her close, and that she used her to become two-belt Banks. She said that she was using Sasha as well. Thanks to you, I am the longest reigning Smackdown Women's Champion. But after last week, you are completely useless to me. And I thought that her promo here was those were the key lines, but I thought her promo was very good. As she was leaving, Nikki Cross was coming up for the next match, and Bayley attacked her and hit her with a chair. And that should have been a giveaway about how this next match was going to end. It was a number one contenders fatal four-way match. The winner would challenge Bayley for the championship at Clash of Champions. We had Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, Tamina, and Alexa Bliss. And the big spot here was Nikki had wiped out Lacey and Tamina outside the ring. And Alexa was picking her up very slowly, and then she set her up for Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt's move. And she hit Sister Abigail to Nikki Cross on the floor. Alexa looked up. She looked like she was in a trance. When they came back from break, she was gone. She had left. It was now a triple threat match. And in the end, Nikki Cross did manage to pick up a win. She rolled up Tamina for the win. So that means Nikki Cross is going to get the match with Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Only a couple of months removed from what? It was probably 3 matches that Nikki Cross had with Bayley already for the SmackDown Women's Championship. All of which, by the way, she failed to win the title. Now we're back to this match again. I'll say this, of all the options in that match, Tamina, Lacey, which we've also seen, Nikki Cross probably the best choice of the 4, of the 3, once Alexa bailed. Alexa's doing her own thing. She's doing her own story right now. She didn't have to win this. So probably the best option, but my God, we're back to this match again. So what do they do at Clash of Champions? Either they bring Sasha back at the pay-per-view to interfere, or Alexa Bliss gets involved and she lapses into a trance-like state and she winds up costing Nikki Cross the match, and then Nikki Cross can go on to feud with Alexa Bliss. WWE, originally the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was going to take place November 1st, so we were going to get 2 pay-per-views in the month of November, Hell in a Cell and Survivor Series. WWE has moved the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view back a week, so it will now be taking place October 25th. So that will be the date of Hell in a Cell. I could see where it would be appealing to them to want to bring back Sasha, not keep her off TV for months, and go right into a Hell in a Cell match between her and Bayley. But I think it would be probably a very good match. Sasha had an excellent Hell in a Cell match with Becky Lynch last year. The only saving grace of that awful night. But I just don't like the idea that in the first match you do with these two, their first match in years, you go right to the Hell in a Cell stipulation. Because it's not going to be the end of the feud. There will likely be multiple matches. And the idea that the very first one is going to be Hell in a Cell, it just feels so ass backwards to me. Because Hell in a Cell should be the blow-off. If anything, right, it should be the blow-off to a big feud, not the first match. But after what Bayley did to Sasha, Sasha has this reason to want revenge and to want to take a chair and wrap it around her throat. And so why not put them in Hell in a Cell? I could see the appeal. I could see them wanting to do that. I'm just not enamored with the idea. I would much rather they wait. I would just much rather they wait. I mean, the injury angle they did could keep Sasha off TV for a few months. But it is a long time to wait. If you want to bring her back at the Rumble or have her win the Royal Rumble and then do the first match at Mania, it is a long ways away. But I just look at it and go, sell the injury, put some shine on some other people for a few months. All you need is 2 people. I had said Mandy and Naomi, but I'll get to Mandy in a second and why that doesn't look like it's going to happen. And that could kind of bridge the gap until Sasha is ready to come back. But most likely, knowing WWE, they'll have Sasha back within a few weeks looking for revenge. And we'll probably get the first match next month. But again, I am not sold on that idea. I just wish that they would. They've waited so long. They've taken their time with this for so long that I kind of think, what's a few more months before you get Sasha back, and then you really build it up the right way. And look, I will even say this, and some people are going to disagree with this. It's very, very early to know what the WrestleMania matches and main events are going to be. Most likely it will involve Roman Reigns, probably defending the Universal Championship. And it could be against anybody. It could be Roman defending the Universal title against The Fiend. It could be Roman defending the Universal title against Brock Lesnar if Brock Lesnar comes back. It could be Roman and Daniel Bryan, which is a ready-made feud just waiting whenever Bryan is ready to come back. There is a very good chance that Roman Reigns will headline WrestleMania next year. But you could absolutely headline WrestleMania next year with Sasha Banks and Bayley. And some people are going to laugh. Oh, what a silly idea. A silly idea. It's really not. It's really not. Think about it. This is a big match. First match between these two is going to be a big match. And probably the second and third match will be pretty big too. But that first match is going to be a big deal. And I think by then, certainly, people are going to be dying to see this belt off of Bayley already. Sasha will come back. She'll be a popular babyface. It sucks that we can't get people in the buildings and we have the virtual fans, but what are you going to do? Just like Roman Reigns. We finally got the Roman Reigns heel turn after 5 years, and it came when no fans are in the building. That part of it sucks. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to hold everything off until people are back in the buildings? It could be months. Can't do that. You got to move on. You got to keep things going. But I think if you play your cards right, Sasha Banks and Bayley, it's early. I could change my mind. I mean, they change their minds every fucking week. How come I can't change my mind? Talk to me in January and February, and let's see at that point what the card kind of starts to look like for WrestleMania, but you could absolutely have Sasha Banks and Bayley in the conversation as a WrestleMania main event for WrestleMania 37 next year. Absolutely. That's how long this has been built up for. That's the story that's there, and I think the match they have. Look, I can't sit here and tell you that they would be able to recapture the magic of the match they had in Brooklyn 5 years ago. It would be impossible to capture the magic of that match without people in the crowd. Impossible. You can't do it. So maybe it wouldn't be as good or as, just as fantastic as that match was. But if they could even recapture some of the magic of that match and just go out there and do what they do best against each other, they're going to be extra motivated to go out there and probably just tear the fucking house down. I absolutely could see that as being a WrestleMania main event that you would consider. At least consider the idea. At least consider the idea. Absolutely, without question, that could be a WrestleMania main event match. And I just hate the idea that you've come this far after as long as it's been going on for, that you would do anything that could potentially jeopardize that.